How would y'all had it talk? How are you gonna have that talk with Kylie?
For what?
Like,
Scratching the balls?
SCIs.
Oh, SEIs? I mean, all that stuff is talking of physical education,
So
when
you
I
don't
was in
plan on
school,
talking about it.
I feel like I should confirm because she asks questions.
Right.
Yeah. Give her confirmation.
How would you tell her to handle like testing and stuff?
Well, as females though, they that's something that they do throughout the year anyway. Well, some they should because y'all supposed to go to the doctors and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff is come with it when they go.
But that's just yearly though, right?
Those are other exams. It doesn't test for STDs and stuff.
But I'm saying
if you get a pap smear,
Yeah.
then I guess if it's something that can be visual, then yeah. But that don't mean that if you're having sex on a regular basis, you're being tested.
No. But I'm saying most girls, when they do, clean girls, of course, when they go get that, they go get the whole nine.
You just go get
feel me?
tested.
They knock it out, right? They knock the whole nine.
Go ahead and knock everything out.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't just be girls. It got to be guys too.
Oh yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
No, I agree, straight up.
Yeah.
Whoever, if you sexual after whoever it is, guy or girl,
you need to be
or them or they, whichever one you identify.
Gotta be correct on these pronouns.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Them or they, she or her, him or
he.
What else I got?
That's it. Just 3.
Is this 3? You sure?
I think.
I don't want to exclude no gender.
I don't.
Cause
Even,
this going
I
on
don't
YouTube.
Even, I don't know
I'm
what.
gonna guess 3.
You say 3.
Girl, guy.
Them.
Don't identify. That match.
The
Girl,
non-binary.
guy, I don't
So
identify.
could my pronouns be he and them?
Well, I don't know about them.
No, because you can't be non-binary and gender conforming.
They can be non-binary. I can't be both.
You can't be all. You're trying to be 2 of those things.
So
You can't do that. Why are you trying to be difficult?
I'm just saying. I'm
Don't be difficult.
I'm trying to figure this thing out.
You cannot be both of those. You
Says
can either
who?
Be them.
Says who?
Says Jaquise.
Show me the rule where it said I can't be both.
I'll mail it to you. I'll email it to you.
I am from this day forward. My pronouns.
How you identify?
He and they.
Okay, I know about he. What is they?
They.
They're the same thing.
He and them.
They're gonna be like,
Who are y'all?
them over there. Man, if
He
that
and
ain't a
them.
fact, you setting yourself up for fat jokes.
Oh.
They're gonna be like, them over there don't.
Your mama. Easy. I wasn't talking about your lovely
Hey,
mother.
what was-
I was just
Hold
saying
on.
in general. I would never say anything like that about your mom. Are you serious?
Better not.
I
Yeah.
like Miss Jackie a lot.
Now I gotta tell you, shout out on the show. She gonna be looking for it.
And she's a loyal supporter of Live Living
Oh
Legit.
yeah, we
So
appreciate
we
Miss
really
Jackie,
like
man.
Miss Jackie.
Straight up.
Miss Jackie.
Hey man.
We have really sit up here and ramble because we literally have nothing to discuss. You know how normally we start these shows where we just be talking about stuff.
And then boop boop.
But it was like we really ain't got nothing to talk about for real. So
Yeah.
that's why we talking about scratching your balls and STDs and shouting out Miss
Speaking of
Jackie.
STDs,
And how we like
how many people you think had STDs that were dealing with this man?
I don't know, but I heard that man say he finna to reduce his sentence.
Hold on. One of the things that came up in court is he knowingly gave out a lot of STDs.
Yeah, I
to
heard
these
that.
women.
Yeah.
The one that they can't cure.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what's going on?
The herpes.
They say to reduce his sentence though, they say
But you know, a lot of people are living with herpes.
Nah,
I know
you
that's not
finna
a
sing.
conversation.
It's too late to reduce
and I
the
ain't
sentence.
talking about his music.
It's too late. That conviction and already came down. Huh?
He's saying he finna sing like a canary.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's too late. That conviction and to reduce the sentence.
Yeah.
Oh,
To reduce
You
his
thought he was
sentence.
gonna get up there and say
No, you thought you finna say
no,
one of them bangers.
no.
Step in the name of love.
he finna give a concert in the courthouse.
All right, that's what we gonna do. About 5
That's a
on for
year.
you. 5 for you. 5 tracks get you a year.
Hey, you get the right judge. They may be on that.
For real, that'd be
the
hard.
funniest social media video. I don't know if y'all seen it, but dude, he in the courthouse. Clearly, he has just been convicted, or he waiting on sentencing. And they asked him, did he have anything to say? And he sung a little song. I know y'all have seen that video. He was like, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw
to the victim, I'm sorry. So y'all
I
know the video. Man, the video so funny, man.
What they did for him?
They threw the book at that boy. If not more.
Yeah.
Nah, he freestyled that. We probably
That
should
boy
have went with a
said,
classic.
To my mama, I'm sorry.
Boy, he probably just wrote that one.
While he was sitting there,
Yeah.
he wrote that one.
But I bet he got some money on his commissary from going viral
Probably
on his
did.
books.
That was
Dang, that's
hilarious,
crazy, man.
But yeah, your boy Kels.
Yeah, man.
Kels said, I'm telling
Sound-
everybody.
Do y'all think
He said
that
they say it's
as
a
a
big.
result of telling or threatening to tell that something may happen? I mean, we've seen this before. You know what I'm saying? What's the old dude name that was in the cell and mysteriously,
Oh yeah, the one dealing with Maxine, the one that died. I know he's talking
Yeah,
about.
it
what,
depends.
Gregor, what was his name?
Nah, it was a white boy name.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name, but that guy, the Trump friend.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think it just depends on who it is. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get touched on the inside, depending on who you're threatening on the outside.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So they say there's supposed to be a big time rapper, so that possibly could. You know what I'm saying?
So, but that means that it was a rapper when he was in the game. So I wouldn't look at it nowadays rapper. I'm gonna look back.
I don't know because there's a lot of rappers that start off
Jeffrey
with him
Jeffrey Epstein.
that has
Thank you, Queez.
invented themselves. So it still could be one of these big time rappers. It might be one we just seen on Versus.
Yeah. It's gonna
Yeah,
whoever
You throwing hints?
No, I'm not. I'm just
whoever
letting you
he
know.
finna
Like
snitch on,
it-
it's somebody that's gonna be like,
I don't think it's nobody. I'm saying I say that to say it might be somebody that more is relevant versus you saying might be irrelevant.
But it could backfire on him though, cause you better believe this rapper knows. Like he's heard it. He know. R. Kelly know. He already know what it is. You don't think his attorney finna reach out to R. Kelly attorney and they're gonna probably hit him with, he knows more than what the courts knows. So if you snitch on him, just know he gonna come out with what he know, and your client gonna get more time.
It's finna go down. If he gonna do it, he finna do it.
But if you're in the R. Kelly case, you facing over 100 years.
Oh, so he
you
don't-
like, what's more time?
Exactly.
I'm not clearly I'm not ever going back home. So
that's how they end up singing.
it's crazy, man.
Dang.
This whole thing is finna implode.
Yes.
But they say like that the rap industry is full of that.
Of course. The Weinsteins. There's a lot of that going on.
who's the Weinstein?
Epstein.
No, not Cub. Wine. What Cub?
Oh, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But that wasn't dealing with minors.
It's still illegal.
Right.
You feel
Still
me?
illegal.
It's-
Do y'all think he should sing, or do you think you just at this point you just being petty because you trying to take everybody
course.
down?
Well, I mean, of course he's just being petty. He's just being petty. He's just. I mean, and that's where you gotta look at people like Bill Cosby. I'm sure Bill Cosby could have sung. You know what I'm saying? But he chose to just stand on his integrity.
my boy did. Nah.
And just know, hey, they got me. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna just fight it in the courts. So, but I mean, R. Kelly, he's kind of on his last leg. He has one more oomph left, and that's to just tell on everybody he knows that hasn't done it to. But no one has done it to the level that he has done it. And I think that's the
You know they're not saying, we're trying to help you out, buddy. What you know?
But
That
I
whole
mean,
trick.
he was smart because I want a song beforehand. I'm gonna sing afterwards, just in case it'll help me more if I sing afterwards.
Right.
Versus I don't know what they're gonna give me, so they could have by some chance not given him anything or gave him a small sentence. But now that he knows what he's gonna somewhat get, it's like, okay, let me sing because I know it's gonna be bad. So now I'm pulling out my wild card, as to say.
If R. Kelly, I'm gonna say if R. Kelly walks is anywhere from 0 to 5 years, the country gonna burn. People gonna riot. Like he's definitely falling out of grace of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And so I think they're gonna use him to make an example out of him.
I'm just saying, if he in jail, so should some of the parents. I think BG said that last week.
Right.
I agree. Some of the parents need to be in there because at the end of the day, he wouldn't have access to your child had you not brought them. Now, I'm not talking about the 18-year-olds that went willingly. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the underage. You know what I'm saying? Or even heck, some of the 18-year-olds where if their parent brought them, they were still a victim of abuse by their parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily all by him. Now, should he have made a better choice? Yes. But if I have a fetish and you're bringing me my fix, you're just as guilty.
Yeah, I agree. They should be held just as liable for their parts and the people that protected him and the people that set up flights and booked hotel rooms and
what they call RICO.
Well, I was just about to hit that. That's exactly why they convicted him of a RICO, because he was technically running a illegal crime organization.
And for the watchers and listeners right here on Live Legit, we got that lingo. So when we say singing, we mean snitching.
And when we say RICO, we mean
running a organized crime group. I'm talking about where you got the head dog, the little dog, the dog in between, everything. It's like clockwork, a systematic organization.
Right.
And everybody should be gone if you had some part in it. Not the young ladies, but the parents.
Which I think the RICO, I don't like the RICO. I'm gonna take, because it was set up to give prosecutors leeway. It was like, we have nothing else to pin on you, but we do know that you the head of a gang. RICO.
That's it.
And they can sentence you. I think I have to double check it, but I think it's anywhere from like 20 to life on a RICO. You know what I'm saying?
And they really don't start doing the investigation until they get you in there and hit you with the charge. Now they're trying to
put it all together
and have come up with substantial evidence in the court of law.
And that's easy to do. If I've been to Cuba's house, right? If I'm a big time drug dealer and I've been to Cuba's house and I spent the night there, I swam in his swimming pool, slept in his guest room, then they gonna pull Q in and be like, hey, B? Q gonna be like, yeah, that's my boy. What's going on? Has he ever been in your house? Yeah. He spent the night there? Yeah. He swam in your pool? Yeah. Okay, well, now that links you to B. So we already got the connection there. So now y'all must be working together. If y'all are that close, we had already put point A and point B together, and they just gonna start connecting dots like that. This is the
part of the movie where you got my face up there.
Right. So from there, they just gonna start drawing lines. Even if it ain't true, I have never gave this man nothing. He has never sold nothing for me. But because me and him are boys, they gonna put him up under me as a part of my crime family. And they just gonna start building the tree down, and before you know it, then slap me with a RICO, send me off life in prison.
Asking, you know what I'm saying? Asking, coming up to the next person, asking them the same
five questions,
right? Now it comes to where this is the substantial evidence. Now they got to find phone calls, a hand-to-hand transaction, some type of evidence to show, because all the connections is great, but that's like a basketball with no goal.
Right.
You did?
Right.
So,
but the thing is, and that's why when they be like, well, they submitted evidence to the grand jury, they're going to see if the grand jury is going to prosecute. When I studied criminal justice, I was taught that DA can prosecute a ham sandwich. Because when he goes before their grand jury, remember, in that room is nobody but him and the jury. He's in that room. He is feeding them as much BS as they can handle. When they deliberate and decide to either bring charges or not, he and just pump their heads full of BS. They gonna bring charges.
They do stuff like this. When I was studying criminal justice, they do stuff like this. When they try to persuade the jury, they'll take scientific terms. It's just that deep. Like Cole said, it'll be a hand sandwich, and then it'll be a print, a thumb print, and then they'll use some kind of scientific term and connect it with the person that's, you know what I'm saying, finna get charged. His thumbprint, right? And then they take, that's a A in it. Then they break it down to a B. Then they break it down to a C. And then they be like, now A plus B equals C, and you add D in, and then you know that. And I'm talking about, but listen now, you got to think how long the jury is there and how long the duration of this trial is. When it comes to these folk has been brainwashed at this point.
At this point,
because they losing all these scientific, and then they'll say something else, and they'll say something, a hard line. And it's like, now tell me that ain't Brandon Watson. And they'll walk off. And you'll be sitting there thinking like, dang, the thumbprint.
That was his thumbprint.
And then they'll take time. They'll take the time frame. Now, there's only a 3-minute window. So how is it that There is no way that this cannot be this person.
That's why it pays to have a good attorney on retainer. I know everybody can't afford an attorney on retainer, but it pays to have an attorney, somebody in your corner.
At the point, at this point, it's a mind game.
Right.
Who we finna say? You feel me?
Yeah.
And then that's where a lot of victims fall short of. When I call these like prisoners, because they didn't have that prime, like, top dollar lawyer, then probably didn't have the study, or wasn't even plugged in with the courtroom. You know, a lot of these folks plugged in favor for a favor. It might.
Oh, they'll swap you out in a minute, boy.
Every day at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Swap you out
every
in
day
a
at 8.
minute.
Every day at 8, they play the
Give me
game.
one, I'm gonna give you one.
Man, I'm telling you, every day at 8.
Man, hey man, my sense is kind of low. My percentage now. I need one. I got you, man. I got you.
Now listen, not knowing that these folks then went to high school together, went to college together, you feel me? Went to law school together, did their first case together, and been doing this for 20 years.
Right.
But it's the person that's supposed to save your life versus the person that's trying to end your
It's
life.
a dirty game.
It's a dirty
Especially when you get these what they call them, the ones that the court pay for.
The appointed
Attorneys?
Appointed attorney.
Man, they either gonna give you somebody green,
Appointed lawyer,
a dummy who don't know nothing, or B, they gonna give you somebody that pushes for pleas. They call them a plea attorney. Their whole goal
is to get the plea. They ain't even trying to get you free, my boy.
Their whole goal is to get the plea. They don't want to go to trial. They don't want to have to do the work. Get the plea and convince you why that plea deal is the best deal you will ever get.
Meanwhile, you know you ain't did nothing. Wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
You look at these folks like, what?
But to people, and I've often said that, like, I don't want to have to sit at that table and they tell you, if we go to trial, you could be facing life, or you can take this 10.
That's when you got to make a deep
and
conscious
you got to be like, I know I didn't do it, but if I
it's
go to trial,
if
I could face life. Or I can just go ahead and get this 10, knock this 10 out, and I'm back home.
And that's where they mess up people, because then they play off that fear. But then you have some people who are, like you said, they be like, I know I ain't do it, so I should just go to trial. But then they say, oh, okay, so I got something for you. You should have took it, so I'm going to add on another 10 years. So now I got you in jail or in prison for robbery and for 20 years. And the person next to you done killed somebody and they got 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And you sitting there innocent the whole time, like, I was just there buying me a juice.
Exactly.
And it's a dirty game. And
Tell me, boy.
But honestly though, and I've thought about this long term, there's no way to fix it. There's literally no way to fix it.
They the real Rico.
Oh yeah, they running crime families up there.
I'm telling you.
But there's no way to fit. There's no way. Everybody say, oh, we need a clean system. How? There's no way to clean it.
Because
so
one judge has so much power.
So much power.
And so it's not like a check and balance type of thing. Like, and it should be, and it's kind of supposed to be, but it's not.
But the only person that can overrule a judge is either a higher ranking judge or the governor. You know what I'm saying?
What governor in any state is going to go against one of their judges, especially if it's a big city like Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, or Montgomery? You know, you're not, because it's politics. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just one of those things. You're gonna just you got to eat it
Pick
up.
a side.
As bad as that is,
well, I
it's
think
reality.
That's one of the first problems is I feel like judges shouldn't be political. You know what I'm saying? But I know if it's something voted on, they're gonna have to pick a side and pick a ticket to run on. And you don't want them just appointed because it's gonna still be political. You're gonna get a Republican mayor, you got Republican judges. You know what I'm saying? But somehow they shouldn't be political. I don't like voting for judges. I really don't.
Because what are you going off of?
Right.
You know.
Because you're talking about decisions that literally controls people's lives. I was talking to a buddy of mine he's a deputy sheriff, and he was just like, he tried to preach to the young boys is you can do all you want to do in these streets. You run around, you can fuss, you can yell, you can cuss me out. I'm law enforcement. You can cuss me out all day. Ain't nothing I can do to you. But when you get to that judge, there's nothing you can say. Your life is in his hands at that point. And that's so true, and a lot of people don't think about that. Your life is literally in the hands of the person in front of you. Whatever they say, they could take something as small as long as they have the leeway. If you commit a felony, any felony, they have the leeway from 1 to 99 years Just that simple. Misdemeanors, they can go from 8 hours to 364 and a half days. Like, your life is literally in their hands. You know what I'm saying? You stole a piece of bubble gum, misdemeanor, Class C misdemeanor, right? He can still say 364 days
for that piece of bubble.
Gum. It's crazy.
30 game.
It's a dirty game.
And it
Don't
doesn't
end up
amount
there.
to the amount of trauma you about to endure once you in there, all because you stole a piece of gum.
I remember I worked at a grocery store in high school, and people would get literally locked up for stealing Kool-Aid. In this store, y'all, Kool-Aid was always 10 for $1. 10 cents. They would steal 5 packs of Kool-Aid and go to jail.
Crazy. That's the society we live in, though. You know. Should
Yeah.
it change? Yeah.
The price that
Will it change?
the price it take for one piece of bubble gum, it's gonna take 500,000 bubble gums for to get out of there.
Right.
In dollars. In real talk, I'm
Yeah.
putting you down.
And I think that's what used to hurt me the most, because if they stealing 50 cents worth of Kool-Aid, you know they can't afford a bill. So they going to sit there for stealing Kool-Aid.
Not
And then gonna
not
skip
only
bill.
can you just not only
When they
can't
make
you
it.
afford bail, but once you get in there, it's a market. So you can't afford commissary. You can't afford to buy your phone calls. You know, that the time on the phone.
Right.
You can't afford to send none. You can't buy stamps. So then what you gonna do?
And then
you gotta hustle.
And then
You
that's how
gotta,
the inmates get you, yeah.
And that's how exactly.
Because then it's like, dang, bro.
I already know you messed up.
Like, bro, I saw, you know what I'm saying? You didn't get a lot on your dinner tray. I tell you what, I got some noodles for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can get by. I appreciate that, bro. You looking out for me. You want something in return? It's gonna come back to you. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. It's
a wicked game.
It's a dirty game.
Yeah. Unless you just gotta get ahead of that thing though. So you know your skills. Use your skills. If you're a cleaner, hey, can I clean your bunk?
Yeah.
Can I clean your
Real
shit?
talk.
Let me go ahead and do this easy way. I don't want you to try and get me. I'm gonna try to get you.
Real talk.
right.
Yeah.
And y'all know, I only know what I've seen on TV. I've never seen the inside of a jail.
Thank God.
Thank God. Queese working it every day. You know what I'm saying? Q, he a thug in these
You
streets.
feel me? No, I seen the inside. For the in the back.
Hey, speaking of jails, I know this is gonna be off topic, so you can cut it. But y'all ever seen the show 60 Days?
I think I've seen like half of an episode.
Okay, you gotta check it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So, show 60 Days. They hire like 5 or 6 people, women and men, to go into the prison and actually like get processed. So the only person who know you undercover is the people who are doing the documentary.
That's so dangerous.
You and maybe the other people. Sometimes the other inmates who are undercover in there don't know you undercover. It's real dangerous. Like, would y'all do that?
No, I did it for real. So I ain't trying to go out there.
If the price right.
No, brother.
You would do it.
No,
Right, price.
No, you wouldn't, depending on where you at.
Like, cause one of the dudes on this last series that's on Netflix, he's a not correctional. He's a sheriff deputy
Oh, that's too dangerous.
from New York,
Too
but he was
dangerous.
over in Arizona. He the one that snitched and got everybody in danger. He went and told one of the officers. The officer spreaded it.
That's too
It's
dangerous.
too dangerous. And the guy, one of the guys, he was a ex inmate. Like he just served some time in
No,
there.
you said, hold up. Hold up. Let me just make hold up. You said what I said no because I did in real life. Like as far as being an inmate, you saying that they purposely going to jail to snitch on folks?
Basically, so like the prison wants to know like who bringing in the drugs.
Oh,
So
man, I finna
they
cook.
have this show called this show called 60 Days where they get people from different parts of the state or state or country. You volunteer and you get booked.
Oh man,
And you go
please.
like they give you a set of charges. It's not really on your record.
yeah.
But
You
yeah,
in there.
You in there
For the
and
right
the people
price.
who know, like it's the people who are like recording the document because how people you see the documentaries being done. That's how they get recording of it. They said they're doing a documentary, but the inmates don't know supposedly what's going on. But the people who do know, it's like it may be like the captain, the warden, and maybe like one of the lieutenants that'll know. That's it. Nobody else absolutely knows.
Okay.
So like if you get like if you feel like your life is in danger, you be like, hey, is there secret, like there's maybe a secret, you may get on the phone, you dial a certain number, I need to talk to so and so, and then they know instantly, get you out of there. Something wrong.
Check this out, my boy. This is what they don't tell you. They ain't make the movie or the show about the folk that did get out that ain't lived to see the paycheck.
Let me ask you this. So
true.
for $2 million, you want to do 60 days?
You have to think about this, brother. The money. This is what I don't think you know the serious of this. The money, you not gonna live to see the money because you go there and talk on the wrong and sing about the wrong person. Cause you gonna get touched on the outside. I don't care.
I ain't singing on nobody. I'm just finna go in there and do my 60 days, get my $2 million, and go home.
No, you gotta snitch. You gotta report to these.
They want you to report.
You can't just do days.
Oh.
So they gonna say, so like the police officer, and that's what had got to him. He was like putting on the show so good, he got to like almost the head dog. So like you got the head dog. The head dog was trusting him like right here, like he was there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like he made it up there. And when he messed up, he told one of the, he was like, oh, you know, so and so. He was getting cocky. You know what I'm saying? So the Latino dude, he was real thug, like tattoos, you know, all that. He had to hide some of them because if they would have saw like one of his tats that was gang related, they would have tried to jump him because of who he was. You know what I'm saying? So he had really got up there and how like he was fighting people in real life in that thing. Like he messed up too, but he was legit doing the undercover bit. So the police officer was just like, this dude came from over there where he was, and he came over here. He was just like, oh, you came from where? Oh man, yeah, you know so and so. And that's when he messed up. He was like, how you know? That's because you know that you don't mix races in there. So this is a Hispanic dude, you black. So now you just done picked this dude on radar. So then when that one dude that came over here and you said that to him, so he's like, oh, I need to get changed into a different dorm. So then he got moved, and so he got over there, hey, you know so and so, and they was just like red lights. Hey, y'all got to get them up out of here.
You must watch this last night.
No, I just liked it.
I it's fresh. The way you play it's fresh. I know I seen it so last night.
I like it. It was funny to me because you wouldn't have thought the police officer would have been the one to mess everybody up. Everybody was pissed at him. Even the ladies were pissed because it got over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, hey, somebody in here undercover.
It's deep.
And then the ladies, it was so funny. They looked at them and they was just like, y'all, look at their teeth. Their teeth ain't messed up. They ain't no real drug addicts.
Yeah.
And that gave them out. And they were one by one. And the one woman, it was this white girl, you know, pretty girl. She liked to shoot guns, you know what I'm saying? Republican, conservative type girl, but gun, you know, hell, all that stuff, hard. They thought she wasn't going to make it. She was the best one up in there. Like, it was good. Y'all got to look at it. I'm sorry, I just gave a free advertisement, but okay.
It's all good. And the 60 day, I want to say I passed it a couple times.
In 60 days?
Yeah, you gotta look. You gotta look at the whole thing though. You can't just look at part of it.
Y'all know what? We ain't even did this yet.
What?
Welcome to another episode of Live, Lit, and Legit. As always, it's your boy B.
And your boy 2 Cups. Shout out Q Smith.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, BG out of the place tonight. So you already know, man. She moves from engineer to producer, from producer to engineer, man. Jaqui in the house with us this evening. Working the boards as always, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening. I'm gonna say day. It's a beautiful evening. Y'all doing all right today?
Everybody doing all right? Doing all right?
Doing good. Yeah.
Man, you know, so far it's been a decent show.
Thus far. It's the end of the week.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Fridays.
Yeah, boy. It's be some long weeks, don't it?
Boy, I be looking forward to Fridays, man. More than anything, I be happy to see y'all beautiful faces.
Oh, likewise, my friend.
That's
Likewise, my friend.
that's how you get in the good graces of people. Take notes.
No,
What
man,
you
that's
want?
love.
That's the question. What you want?
But man, since we're just talking about 60 days lockup, speaking of Netflix, y'all got a chance to check out the new Dave Chappelle special?
Yeah, man, that thing hit hard.
That thing hit hard, huh?
Man, that hit hard.
What's
man.
your thoughts on it?
Man, I loved it because Dave, he's gonna create a whole body of work within his show, and then he's gonna reiterate things and kind of bring them back into perspective on how they. So the way he broke everything down once again, man, check it out, Dave Chappelle closing.
Would you consider Dave Chappelle the greatest of all time?
Well, once again, this question always revert into age groups. And
I'm
age
saying
gaps.
all time of
But
the
but that's the
comedians you've heard, the specials you've watched.
Exactly.
Where would you put him?
So once again, that's very important because that question's got to ask, hey, did you see Richard Pryor in his prime? Like,
Have you ever seen a special of Richard Pryor?
I did, but I was little. I couldn't take everything
But
in.
all of the comedians today, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, then come a little bit Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, all of them took some part of they were motivated
of
by
the
Richard
older
Pryor.
ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were motivated by the old one. So it's hard
to say that, man. I like to do the
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I went back and watched Delirious. Every comedian says Delirious, Eddie Murphy, Delirious is the best stand up ever.
And Delirious by Eddie Murphy?
Yes. Yeah. It holds up well. Some of those jokes was real cringy because I was like, ooh, you can't say that today.
Yeah.
But man, that stand up special holds up very, very well. So I'm gonna say if a stand up special can hold up 30 years later and still have you weak, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, man. Eddie Murphy.
I remember I'm a fan of the show, and I remember we did a One Gotta Go. Shout out to Mr. Ernest.
Okay.
And Eddie Murphy was on that list, and you shot him down like nobody's business.
Roll back the clip.
Yes, yes, you shot Eddie down. So I want you to go back and apologize.
Wow.
I apologize. I went back and watched Delirious. It held up well, and for that alone, I love. Look, first and foremost, huge Dave Chappelle fan.
Huge.
I've liked every stand. I think there was one stand-up special that I was just like, but other than that, he kills every time he touches the stage. I like Kevin Hart. His latest specials, I've kind of wavered on, but his early stuff, Grown Little Man and Laugh at My Pain, brilliant. I love them. Cat Williams. His older stuff, phenomenal.
Yes, I love
newer stuff. Well, I mean, he ain't released nothing new, but kind of soured on Cat. I even go back as far. I watched Red Fox specials, well, not specials, but some old tapings. Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor. I'm a huge stand-up fan. I love stand-up comedy. No one can do it quite like Richard Pryor. The man admitted on stage, I've sucked dick for crack, and he is hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Real, man.
So no one can do it quite like Richard Pryor. But
all those people you name, man, I agree, goats, man. I even get back to like Queese was mentioned, the Martin Lawrence, man. Even bro, like for me, like the Mike, all these people, Mike Epps. I think of Def Jam and Comic View.
With Def Jam, bro.
I think about
Def Jam
all of
changed
them
the
acts,
game.
man. All of those
Chris
acts.
Rock. Chris Rock don't get enough credit.
Chris Tucker,
Rock
man. Like all these greats, bro. All these, it's so many to name, man. But I feel like all of them is just hell high in the comic. You know what I'm saying?
But then you got your new school cast coming up because like people be sleeping, man. But you got some great comedians out there.
Oh man, look, it's just cuz
would DC Young Fly be considered one of the
stand up? Yep.
TK Kirkland, bro. Like it's so many cuz like it just man.
Carlos Miller.
Yeah.
Kev on stage.
Man,
to hear
everybody.
more. I mean, this whole new group that's coming up.
The 85.
I believe they're gonna surpass them. I really believe.
I mean, with technology and where the things going, but like you say though, when that body of work, Delirious, 30 years plus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you still got to go 30 years plus.
But the difference is like Eddie Murphy needed a company to pick him up to do Delirious and to do Raw. Chris Rock needed a company to pick him up to do what was the one? Was it Black something? Eddie Griffin. We didn't even mention him. Dysfunctional Family. I remember as a child I watched Dysfunctional Family, and it was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Anthony Anderson.
It's so many, man.
They needed a crew, but when you look at people like Andrew Schultz, he just filmed his latest special
because it's
in house. He did it. He had a show. Mm-hmm. He brought his boys who do cameras. Mm-hmm. He brought his boy who produces his podcast. Mm-hmm. They did that off their own dime.
Notice the words that you.
That's where the game changes.
Yeah, I have to say, notice the words that you use and what those second class or third class, whatever, had access to. Those things wasn't accessible. So your only thing is
what's the weight on the HBO, the weight on the Comedy
Hollywood.
Central.
Somebody give you a special.
Weight,
the VHS. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's changing the game now is because just like anything with internet. We click a button and we got it.
Right.
Everybody got a phone. The poorest man, the man on the street who asking for money, got a phone and a cash app. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And he's somewhere with Wi-Fi.
Somewhere because it's free when you hit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so easy to get to, and like all you need is a phone. You hit record, bam.
That's it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand how these like record labels. How are they making it? You don't need a distribution deal anymore. Mm-mm. Like there was once upon a time I had to sign with the big label because I needed the distribution. Mm-hmm. I don't need you anymore. I can distribute myself.
Exactly.
It's upload SoundCloud, done. I'm out of there. Upload
pay
Apple, I'm about it. Yeah.
And you know what's gonna be her? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. But to piggyback on yours now, the only reason they're needed, quote unquote, is for the traditional branding of music and how it came, the originality of it, the ways that, you know what I'm saying, you go down Main Street, you go down Melrose, you go down, you know what I'm saying, those main avenues, the traditional avenues, you know what I'm saying, that's is what they still stand for.
And honestly, all they doing is they using the clout they already built to promote you. So if I'm Jermaine Dupri and I got this new artist that I'm signing, everybody know me. You know, everybody know Bow Wow, everybody know the Brat. So then when I bring you up, they gonna help me out with their name on social media, whatever it is. Bam, there you go. You're out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Off a face.
You're basically paying me or you're signing to me, and I'm getting money from you for you to just use my name.
But instead of me signing to a bad deal with Jermaine Dupri, and I'm not saying Jermaine Dupri is signing to a bad deal, but Diddy, he has a history of it. I feel better. Instead of me signing to a bad deal with Diddy, right, where it's finna be a upside down deal where you gonna front me $500,000 up front, and now in the back end I'm gonna owe you $2 million. Wouldn't it be better to just save up your ducats and go hire some influencers to promote your stuff? If I can find 5 IG models to promote my stuff, to wear my shirt, to push my hottest song.
But you know what that is? Hard work. That's working.
Independent.
When I can get it easy, or do I want to work for it?
But
look at the society. I mean, look what we promote. We promote quick and easy versus working for it. Right. You know.
That's true, but you gonna end up. I mean, we've heard the stories, man. Tony Braxton, TLC, Mace. We've heard the stories of so many artists sign these deals, get the big check, blow it all, and you find out now you owe the label $3 million.
Man, miss me with all that. If you handed me $500,000, I know what it feel like to not have lights, water, food, and you saying you finna give me $500,000. I don't care what they did. I'm different in my mindset. I see this $500,000.
But you finna go make sure your mama's straight. You gonna make sure you got everything you need, and you gonna owe the label 6 albums.
But that's what I'm saying. Quick and easy still looks good to me when I ain't got it.
I believe this, and can't nobody change my mind. Tupac is dead today because he knew better. When Suge bailed him out of jail, got him out of prison, and he owed Death Row 3 albums. I think it's 3. Somebody can correct me. He dropped 1, and then he did a double disc. And he went to Suge Knight. I was like, that's 3. I'm leaving. I'm done. That's when Suge gave him Death Row East. And they started pushing that. Not shortly after they announced Death Row East, Tupac was dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe differently. I believe, like, I'm not going to take the easy cash because I know what's on the back end of that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, he couldn't flip that thing on Tupac the way he had flipped it on all the other artists. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was smarter. He had already been in the game. He already knew what it was. So he killed him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but I know
Allegedly.
that if you present to me $5,000 and I ain't got nothing, I'm not mentally there and prepared to say no, like you said, Tupac was, I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? But
Tupac took it because they got him out of prison. So Tupac took the money, but he made good on his he
deal,
owed the label, and he was ready to go, and they weren't ready to let him go because they already knew he was gonna go to Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Where else was he gonna go? He was gonna move back to Baltimore, and before you know it, Tupac was not Tupac. P Diddy was gonna be in his videos like this.
Yup. And all the videos.
Dancing in all the videos.
Dang, yeah, that crazy though. It's about that paperwork though, man.
That is. But I don't know how y'all got to Tupac.
We always do.
But going back to Dave Chappelle.
God, we went far.
Yeah.
We ventured out.
Yeah. But I heard he had said some stuff to provoke or insult. He insulted some people. What was it? I haven't seen the special. What exactly did he say?
He talked greasy about the LGBTQ, how he said LMNOP community. He talked bad. But
boy popped it.
He talked like a comedian. Okay. He said comedian things. He made jokes. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's the kind of comedy I like. You know what I'm saying? I like where I will let someone can come up to me with a racist joke. If it's funny, I'm gonna laugh. I'll be the butt of a joke. I'm gonna laugh. I like comedy, you know, and I like truthful comedy. I like somebody got to be the butt of the joke. You know what I'm saying? So if it's ain't funny, you won't believe the racist jokes I've heard. If they're funny, I'm going to laugh.
What show?
And I'm gonna tell them, man, that's a good one.
What show was that? Was it South Park? No, everybody used to. They was not. No, Family Guy. Family Guy get on everybody.
Everybody. They don't hold back.
They don't hold back.
If it's a racist black joke and it's funny, I'ma laugh. Y'all did good with that
but
one. But
they talking about white folks, black folks, Hispanics, Asians, Jews. Everybody can get it from Family
Everybody
Guy.
can get them jokes.
And so that's when you know you like, okay, it's just comedy. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Like, relax.
Yeah.
The world needs to laugh, enjoy it. It's comedy. Let comedy be funny.
Yeah. But now I don't agree. I always hated this. Now D.L. Hughley, I love his show that he has on the radio. Don't get me wrong about that. I love his show. But one thing I hated about his comedy, his stand-up comedy,
it was always black people do this, white people do that.
No, he always went to the crowd.
I like crowd work.
I hate crowd work because I'm like, tell me some good jokes, but like don't instantly start cracking on folks in the crowd. Like, come on. But DC Young Fly does that a lot too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the 85 South show. Their whole show is crowd work. It's all crowd work, and I think that's why it's so popular. But I agree with you. I enjoy the craft of crafting up a witty joke. You know, and I think that's what Dave Chappelle does. So Dave Chappelle, when he starts a joke, he gets so serious, and he may fire up that cigarette. And you know, the other day I saw a young black boy shot dead in the streets, and you be like, "Oh, no, Dave, say it ain't so." And after about 5 minutes of telling this heart-wrenching story, he be like, "Yeah, he was still a nigga," and everybody be like, "Oh, that was so funny, so funny." You know what I'm saying? Like he grips you in with the story, and he comes with the punchline later on, and you don't ever see it coming. So, that's what I love about Dave.
That's hard.
Dave he's that guy, and he had a lot of jokes like that throughout his special that was aimed at the LGBTQ.
Okay, so
community.
This young lady had something to say about it. Let's see, what did she say? Okay. She said, I told the story of my transition for Netflix at most Pride Week. It's a network that's been my home on Dear White People. I love working here. I will not work with them as long as they continue to put out and profit from dangerously transphobic content.
You alright?
I can say it for a second. I'm sorry.
So basically, I'm gonna fill you in, Q. This is Jacqueline Moore. Jacqueline Moore is she's a showrunner on Dear White People, which is ironic because that's a black show, but she's a white trans woman. She was so offended by Dave Chappelle's special that she's saying that she's gonna boycott Netflix because they're profiting off the special.
How long they been profiting off of?
Oh, Dear White People been going for what, 3 years now? 2 or 3 years?
So now that the rabbit got the gun, now you want to boycott?
I like how you put that. The rabbit got the gun. But yeah.
Stay woke.
So, but that's what I think the problem is. Some people are too woke for their own good. But yeah. So basically, she's saying now that she's going to boycott after she's worked on Dear White People for 3 years, which is a black show aimed at telling white people what it's like to be black. That's the part that I don't understand. It is a black show telling white people the plight of the black individual, and the showrunner is a trans white lady. Somebody make it make sense.
I mean,
somebody make it make sense for me.
I don't see a problem with it. Just because she's running the show does not mean that she's not getting accurate information. I mean, if you watch the show, you can really identify with some of the stuff they're saying. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that the information loses any credit just because she's white. I mean, there could be black advisors. It happens all the time. Shows have what you call people. What are they called? Advisors, who kind of help direct the line of the story to make sure it's as realistic as possible.
She's the showrunner, though. The showrunner is the head honcho. That's the person that handles the budget. So they're looking at the script like, yeah, we can't secure that. You got to cut that. So like if I'm writing out a script for a show and I'm saying, yeah, so we need a limo coming down the Vegas Strip right here because they're gonna be in Vegas. And I'm looking at the script and I'm thinking about the budget and I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to do Vegas, so you want to cut that. So she can control the narrative of the show whichever way she see fit.
Okay, but my thing is, she's controlling it, but it makes sense. It's not like she's controlling it and giving us a false narrative. She's giving us correct information overall. And if it was, I'm sure we would have heard something about it by now. You know what I'm saying? But I like the show. I've only seen the first season. I haven't seen the second and third.
How much did you like it?
I liked it. I watched it all the way through. I
only
loved
seen the first season though.
Okay, you're right.
Shows I like tend to watch.
Okay, but if she was the showrunner for the first season, I like what she did. Point blank period. When we're done with that, okay. I like what she did, and I don't see a problem with her being over the show. I mean, you have a lot of white people who become educated about the struggles of black people or other Hispanic struggles, and then we count on them to educate other people. So who's to say that this is not her opportunity to do that? Just because she's white, we shouldn't say that she can't do it.
I like Mexican food. Love it. Love tacos. Love burritos. Love taco trucks. Not a huge fan of Taco Bell. Chipotle is alright. Prefer the taco truck because it comes straight from the source, right? Fantastic. I got Mexican friends. You know what I'm saying? Trying to learn how to speak Spanish, right? I'm in a wedding this coming Sunday where they're going to be speaking a lot of Spanish. So I'm trying to get the gist of it, right? I don't know the Hispanic plight. I can't tell you what it's like to be Hispanic in America because I'm a black man. So no matter how much Spanish I learn, no matter how many tacos I eat, no matter how many books I read, no matter how many Spanish people I talk to, I will never know what it's like to be Hispanic in America.
I agree with you.
Same goes for her. She can eat all the fried chicken and watermelon she wants to. She'll never know what it's like to be black.
I agree with you. But it does not mean that she cannot support the message going out. She's using her circle of influence. She's using her place of influence to promote a message. And if we say it only has to be promoted by black people, we're not going to go very far. What's the point of teaching someone if we don't want them to then pass on that message?
But no, the promotion is done by Netflix, which is a white-owned company. That's where that should be. But I feel like the production of the show should be black. It should be black actors. It should be black directors, black producers, black showrunners, black PAs.
That would be nice, but at the end of the day, it's not going to always happen.
It should.
Okay, but it's not going to always happen. And but what I'm saying is that's great, but if this show has white people in it, as long as they're not trying to present a narrative that is false, what is wrong with?
Because it don't feel it don't feel authentic. Blackish. Do you know why Blackish gets so much? It gets. What's the word I'm looking for? So many people talk about Blackish negatively, and I love Blackish. I think I gotta watch the last season. I don't think I watched it, but I love it as a show. It's very entertaining. It's good background though. It's something to put on while you're doing something else. Because it doesn't feel so authentic. Some of the things they do feels very authentic. I'll never forget Anthony Anderson went on this monologue about the Obama inauguration, and he was just talking about when he stepped out of that car, you could feel it, and I can relate to that because I felt that. So some things feel authentic, but a lot of times the show don't feel authentic, and I know why it doesn't. I haven't even researched it, but I know
a lot of hers.
It's a lot of hers in the background.
Right, pro no.
But the message is still the same. That's what I don't understand where you're coming from. I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree because if you look at the perspective that they're coming from, it's legit. You're coming from a family who has of high income, medium, well, that would be considered high income.
Yeah,
family. And as a black family, this is what we deal with. How many people in their situation can relate to that? Heck, there are a lot of people who are in situations where they are in different cultures that aren't just solely in a black background, and they can relate to the fact that when you have your kids going to school, this is what they're going to hear. Oh, we never addressed that because we didn't think it was an issue. Let's address it. People can relate to Blackish.
I guess my thought of that is if you're finna make money off telling our story, let us make money off telling our story. And I think that's how I sum it up. If you're finna make money off telling our experiences, let us make money from telling our experiences. Will Smith, when he did The Fresh Prince, after season 1, he had to bring in his homeboy to help write because the writers, whom looked like her, couldn't write in the way that he would say it. So he had to bring in his homeboy to help write so they can put it in terms that he can say it. So if you're finna tell our story.
So who is then the blame then? Is it the people who look like her, or is it the people who have money and influence and who can tell a story?
It is Netflix's fault.
No, it's not.
I'm blaming Netflix. Netflix hired her.
No.
Yes. It's Netflix's fault.
I disagree because if I have the opportunity, if you're for example, you get up on
I'm
that
not
level.
blaming her. She's just doing the job. I'm blaming Netflix because Netflix should have said, let them tell their story.
The hirers, not the hiree.
Exactly.
So you're saying you have this person with limited writing ability, limited knowledge of it, and then you have this person who has studied, who has learned, who has clear understanding of what the show needs to be presented, who obviously has done a good job in the first season. You're saying just because of her skin color, she should not be given an opportunity?
Let's see. Tyler Perry was homeless, no experience. The man is a billionaire because of what he does.
That's because he worked for that. That's what he wanted.
Alex Haley was an author. The man made one of the greatest TV series of all time. There's so many instances of people without experience. All they need is the opportunity. Give these black people the opportunity.
But what I'm saying is, in that moment when you picked, they both could have gotten a job, and she didn't get the job just because she's white.
I understand, but I'm saying it's not her fault.
Hypothetically, we don't know what she got, but I'm saying
it's not her fault.
Speaking, if we're speaking from equal, you pick two equal people up, and the only difference is their race. I feel like if she does a good job and she's not, again, if she's not selling the wrong narrative, what is wrong with her being up there?
But I agree with what you're saying, but it goes both ways because the person that got color could be way more talented than what she just got it based off her color.
Then
But
in that
they
case,
didn't get the opportunity.
They didn't get the opportunity.
but why didn't they get the opportunity?
Because it could have been
Did they
easily
go-
based. It could have easily been based off. We could have easily had one of her that's doing equal or could exceed her talents, but that one is not on the screen. She is. So I'm saying it goes like that a lot too. Who's to say that person wasn't in the room? You know what I'm saying? Then at the same time, I see what Cuz saying. Even though I'm with the equality, but why not be head on your show? I mean, when I say yo, I mean the people.
Then you're preaching segregation.
But
Then.
not at the same time. Just because defense is like because we got two shows that's pretty much similar. However, the color race is different. Got a Friends cast and you got a
Living Single cast. My point exactly. So for Living Single, if they had an all black production crew, you can't be offended. But if Friends had an all white production crew, you can't be offended. Do you realize in Friends' whole entirety of their whole run,
everything,
they've never had a black cast member
ever.
Okay, and I get that.
So would you be offended if Friends had an all white production crew?
No.
You wouldn't care. I wouldn't either.
Because I love Living Single. But what I'm saying is that's fine for that. But she just so happened to be on the show. So I don't think it's fair to say, hey, y'all shouldn't have hired her because she's white. You should have picked somebody black who know. Heck, hold on now. Let's back it up. There are a lot of black people who are in her position who could have got the job but still don't know the experience. Come on now.
My thing is this, and I see what you're saying because I'm all for equal opportunity for everyone, right? White people included. But my whole thing is allow us to tell our story in our way.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the part that you guys aren't getting. Who's to say that we weren't? Because she probably had.
If she's the showrunner, we can't.
Okay, but as accurate as that show had depict a lot of black people and different type of black people that we have, as accurate as that was, you can't tell me that she didn't have somebody in her ear who knew what to do, what to say. Hey, no, you shouldn't do that. That's a little bit iffy.
But my thing is this though: you can have all the black writers in the world. You can have a black director and black writers and black cast members. But if your runner and your producer are white, they can manipulate that story to however.
And then that's when
them comfortable.
And then that's when we should say something. But until that happens, we're talking about this particular show. Why are we fussing?
I haven't watched it after season 1, so I don't even know what it looked like right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
have no interest.
I haven't
picking
either.
it back up.
It was good though.
First season was fantastic, but I have no interest in picking it back up. And I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I watched Blackish. I enjoyed Mixed. I enjoyed what's the other one? Grownish. I enjoyed Grownish. I think I watched all the episodes of Grownish. Mixed was really, really good. I like the I don't even know her name, and I feel bad that I don't know her name. The main character, she was on the Tyler Perry show.
Which one?
On Mixed, the dark skinned girl. She played Tika Sumter.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Tika Sumter. I'm a fan of hers, so I enjoyed her on Mixed. I enjoyed it. Now the creator of Mixed, he had his own show on Netflix. What was the name of it? Me and you watched a couple episodes together. It was trash, whatever it was. But anyway, so no hate to her, but I just feel like we should be able to tell our own story. And clearly, me and Jaquisa is gonna keep arguing until the show goes off.
And I'm sorry, Q gonna take your side because y'all co-hosts and y'all lame. So
because we can do that. Whose show it is?
We the showrunner.
But look. So look, but I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let it go. I think like just how we just said that different people should represent. I think we forget that not all black people have had the same struggle, and then that's when I won't even say black. Everybody within one race has not had the same struggle. And that when we start saying, oh, you should know how this is, yada, 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 and if you don't, then you ain't black, or you can't tell our story, whatever. When we start getting into that, then we create more segregation. You know what I'm saying? Like me and you. 1, 2, 3, we all grew up 3 different ways. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of similarities there, but there are a lot of differences. We're all black. We're all around the same age range. but we grew up differently.
I think to alleviate that though, that's when you start with the plot, the plot of the story. You know, you just can't be, you know, if you're going 3 ways, make sure that this representation is right from head to toe, on and so forth. So that's why you can alleviate confusion. Like you say, everybody's not. So make sure your plot represents that. See what I'm saying?
But at the end of the day, we may not have grown up together, and you're saying that not every black person's story is the same. But one thing, 1, 2, 3 all have in common is we're black.
Of course.
We know how the world treats us.
Not necessary.
We grew up. You're not gonna sit up in this studio and tell me you grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, and you haven't experienced racism.
Us 3.
If you say that, we ending the show right here. This going to be the end credit.
Us 3 may know that, but I guarantee you, we can bring in another black person who hasn't, who probably can stand and say, "Oh, I've never experienced that."
Oh no, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
But
just because, we're very similar in a lot of ways. You guys are family. You know what I'm saying? We were raised alike, both raised by single mothers. You know what I'm saying? So we're similar in a lot of ways, even though we were raised different in a lot of ways. There's a black person out there who was raised in a very nice $500,000+ home, who was raised around a lot of white folks, got a lot of money, who probably would look at us like, racism? What is that? You know, because they were in some way now have they probably experienced it and pushed it off? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But everybody's experience is different. Is what I'm saying. We have to be welcome into that and understand, like, hey, your experience is not gonna be mine, and we gonna have different takes. To be honest, I didn't really have any big experience with understanding racism until after high school.
And I think, you know what though?
And I really didn't interact with anybody. Like, we had some people in our school, of course, teachers. There were some white teachers, you know what I'm saying? But I grew up in North Birmingham. So I went to Lewis Elementary. Most of my teachers were black. I went to Wilkerson. I had some white teachers. I had some, Hispanic teachers. But most of my teachers, most of the people in my school were black. I went to Carver High School. Most of the people in my school, there were some white people, there were some Hispanic people, but most of the people that were there were black. I didn't experience any other race until college. And then even now, I went to Miles at first. There were some other races there I experienced, but again, majority of what I saw was black. It was when I went to Montevallo that it was like a culture shock for me. I was like, oh shoot, this is a lot of white people. I wasn't exposed. People probably gonna shoot me down for that. I don't care. But that was my life. Before college, I wasn't that exposed. My life was great. I went to a black church, a black historic church. I went to black schools. My family is black. I got the best of my black world. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to experience what you experienced going to Shays Valley. It's different.
I grew up in, first of all, went to a black family. I'm from a black family. Went to a black church, right? Grandfather, traditional Southern black pastor. You know what I'm saying? But grew up in the Birds. Went to an all-white elementary, all-white middle school, all-white high school. My first true taste of black culture, of really diving into what it's like to be around my people, was college. Went to a HBCU. Purposely wanted to go to a HBCU because I had went to mid schools all the way through school. So that meant something to me to go to a HBCU. I had to be around my people. You know what I'm saying? So if you ask me, have I experienced racism? You doggone right. I have definitely experienced it. I experienced it in school. I experienced it out of school. I experienced it on the football field. Any way you can think of it, I have experienced it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And not even that. In my adult life, I've experienced it on jobs. I used to work with a former Klan member.
They out here.
They're here. They're active. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I take offense to stuff like that. Yeah. Let me tell our story.
But see,
she don't know our story.
I don't. But agree to disagree. But I can't I can't talk about how it feels like to be raised or to grow up in a predominantly white elementary school.
Nor do I. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you can't talk about what it's like to be white. And I was going to be like, nor do I want to. Because I'm proud of my skin tone. I'm proud of my people. I'm proud of our culture. I'm proud of what we've endured. I will always yell, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm happy to be black. When I can walk in a room full of white people, I'm smiling. Because you know what? I'm something y'all ain't. And I'm happy to be that.
I feel the same way. But it don't mean that I can't have white friends who understand. They can't relate, but they understand and they can help me push out the education.
They can sympathize with you.
Sympathize.
I said what I said.
I got a synthesizer.
But they could never fully understand what it's like to be you.
You're right. And
I have white friends. Please don't think I'm racist. I'm not. Yes, I have white friends. I sound like the racist white person. I got black friends. But I'm just saying, though, like, you can never fully... And like I said, I would never fully understand what it's like to be white. Nor do I want to. But I won't be able to. And they can't. Don't mean that they can't say, hey, we see what's going on. Anything we can do to help. I would like to help. Let me help. You know what I'm saying? That I can do. I can do that for my white friends and my Hispanic friends.
Okay.
But so I can never
why she can't be helping
fully say, I'm gonna tell y'all a story, because I don't have their story. Someone can sit down with you and tell you their story. You're a therapist. Someone can sit down with you and tell you their story, but they're always gonna leave out details. There's always gonna be little small things that they delete, they leave out, whether purposely or they forgot. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to always know. I'm sure there's racist times. There's times I've been segregated against, or there's times people have been blatantly racist towards me that I've just forgotten about. It's not even in my memory anymore. I don't remember that guy at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember that little kid at school. That happens. I'm done.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree.
Moving on.
I love all people, though.
Well, I guess we can just leave Jackie alone, but yeah.
Moving on. What else you got for us, Aquia?
That's all I have for you.
That's it? Do you thank you?
Hey, man, another wow episode here. We talked about a lot of great politics and just, today's discussion. Tell us your thoughts. Leave your comments, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. You can always find my boy B
on Twitter at that B-Dub guy.
Real on that back, real fast like that.
At that B-Dub guy.
Quiz. You know she's always in the place to be. You feel me? You can't forget us on Facebook at Live Lit and Legit, Instagram at Live Lit and Legit, Code and Facebook Live_Legit. The website is livelitlegit.com. Shop with your boys. The merch is in, my friend. Hey man, you can find me on Instagram 2CupLit and on Facebook, man. We love you. We thank you, and we'll see you next week, guys. That's a wrap.